So here we are, day 2. My broth has been simmering all night. It's cooked and ready to go. And so my next step is simply to drain it. I have my strainer over top of a bowl in the sink. And all I'm gonna do is take my slow cooker container here that is full of the broth with the chicken, and I'm gonna just pour it in here. And you're gonna notice that the bones and everything are gonna strain, and then you're gonna have that beautiful broth that is full of nutrition, no preservatives going into your bowl. I'm gonna make this broth even healthier. I'm gonna let it sit in my refrigerator while I work on the rest of my soup so that any excess fat can rise to the top, and then I'll show you what to do with it. Okay, so now it's time for the fun part. We just get to put everything into our slow cooker and get the cooking process started. I used a package of dried 15 bean soup mix, and I soaked those beans overnight. You can easily use canned beans, and any of them work. Pick your favorites, just drain them and rinse them off. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by putting these beans into my slow cooker. So that's the first step. Once they're in there, I'm gonna put my vegetables. What I love about the vegetable portion of this recipe is that anything goes. So in this recipe, I just took whatever I had and placed it all together. So we're gonna go ahead and dump those in. For flavor, I used a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. I just love that nice smoky flavor that it gives it. You'll notice that this is filling up pretty quickly. This recipe is also great for leftovers, and you can even freeze it. So then I use a jar of salsa. Any kind works. Depending on your taste level, you can use mild, medium, or hot, but just pour that in there, okay? And then also, speaking of mild, medium, or hot, I like diced green chilies, but my son does not like things very spicy, so that's a can of mild diced green chilies. And a little bit of lime juice. I juiced 2 limes and just put them in this bowl, so I'm gonna pour that in. And now we're gonna go for the broth. My broth did not get too fatty, so I was able to use the broth immediately. But if you notice that there's some fat that has risen to the top, it's gonna be a little jelly-like. Just go ahead and scrape that off with a spatula, discard it, and your broth is ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up this soup base with all of my beans, my vegetables, and my salsa, just to get it to where I can put the broth over top of it. And then when I'm ready, I'm gonna pour this broth in. I'll just gently kind of let it go over top of my soup evenly. And it's gonna get real close to the top, but I'm just going to make it. Because this broth was used for the roasted chicken that we did yesterday, it already has the garlic powder and the paprika and the salt and pepper that we used when we made the chicken. So I don't have to add those things. If you're using a store-bought broth, feel free to go ahead and add a little salt, pepper, garlic powder, whatever you like to give it some flavor. And then I already have on this little plate here a teaspoon of cumin and a teaspoon of chili powder. So I'm gonna place that in, mix it in, and this soup is ready to cook. So here we are at the slow cooker, the last step to get it cooking. We are going to go ahead and put this in and cover it, and I'm gonna address the chicken subject. You may be wondering, what about the chicken that we cooked yesterday? We had some leftovers. What do we do with it? You're gonna add it, but you'll add it in the last 30 minutes so that it doesn't dry out. So right now I'm gonna turn my slow cooker on. Since I used those dry beans that soaked overnight, I will go ahead and set it to high for about 2 hours. That'll get the beans nice and tender, and then I'll bump it down to low. But if you're gonna be gone for the day and you can only put it at low, it's fine. It'll work out just great. So once you've added the chicken and let it sit for probably about 30 minutes to heat through, it's ready to be ladled into the soup bowls for serving.